Typhur has come out with their latest air fryer, the Dome 2. I've been testing it out for the past couple of weeks, and in this video I'm showing you exactly how it performs, what's new, what's not, and if it's actually better than the first one. Thank you to Typhur for sending me their new Dome 2 air fryer to test. The 1750 watt air fryer comes with a ceramic coated basket and tray, both dishwasher safe, and the same roomy 5.6 quarter cooking space with a 12 by 12 inch grill grate. But what's new is the technology under the hood. The Dome 2 is built with a 360-degree heating technology, so now you've got dual heating elements, one on the top and one on the bottom. That means better heat coverage and faster, more even cooking. I still have and use my original Typhur Dome, so let's do a compare and see what's new. Physically, the Dome 2 is slightly taller, 10.3 inches versus 9.6, because of the added bottom heating element and the raised feet, which help with airflow underneath and reduce heat transfer to the counter. The weight and depth are both the same as the previous one, even though the first one looks wide, but I think it's just the illusion of the more rounded top. Dome 2 is also a little lighter, 20 pounds compared to the original 20.5 pounds. But just to make it clear, you can see both the crisper tray and the basket tray is exactly the same depth, height and width as the previous one. The control panel's been simplified. The old one showed 10 cooking modes on screen, this one shows 8, but you still have access to all 15 modes and presets through the app. Dome 2 has been updated with 3 new cooking presets: steak, pizza and grill. Steak and grill have a maximum temperature of 450 degrees Fahrenheit, as do most all of the other settings. Pizza goes as high as 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You can also switch between Fahrenheit and Celsius by holding both the temperature arrows, and you can also connect to Wi-Fi by holding both the time arrows until the Wi-Fi icon flashes, then follow the prompts on your smart device. You can adjust time and temperature from the app, but you'll need to hit start on the unit itself to begin cooking. Before your first use, I'd recommend cleaning the heating elements, wiping down the exterior, washing out the basket and trays, and finally perform a dry run on maximum temperature for 10 minutes. The unit runs super quiet at 55 decibels thanks to the brushless motor. Once done, remove the basket and let it air out to get rid of any lingering smell. And now we're getting ready to cook. I started off simple, chicken drumsticks and sweet potatoes using the roast feature, which I had to set from within the app. I set the temperature to 375 degrees Fahrenheit and time to 14 minutes, but added an extra 5 minutes up front just to preheat the unit, especially since there's no built-in preheat for this function. While the air fryer was preheating, I got my sweet potatoes ready and had my drumsticks ready at room temperature, which were marinated using a homemade green chili and coriander marinade. I like to spritz the basket with oil as it creates a golden crisp on the skin, and I'm all about multi-food cooking and hate doing batch cooking. So this basket size is perfect because you can get so much in it. I like slow cooking meat at the right temperature so the inside stays juicy and doesn't overcook before the outside crisps up. The other reason I did 14 minutes is because there's no turn reminder, and I wanted to make sure to flip everything over, so this is kind of my way of reminding myself to flip over the food. Yes, even though with the dual heating elements you still have to flip everything over, and I will explain everything a little later in the video as I'm working through it. After 14 minutes of actual cooking, the sweet potatoes were soft and perfect, so I pulled them out and flipped the chicken before cooking it for another 14 minutes. Once done, I added the sweet potatoes back in and this time switched to air fry on the highest temperature of 450 degrees Fahrenheit for just 2 minutes to help crisp up the exterior. And take a look at how crispy this skin came out on the chicken. Beautiful golden brown color, and if I cut through this chicken drumstick you can see just how tender the chicken is, literally falling off the bone. It was so good. This is why I like to cook at a lower temperature and then just blast it at the last couple of minutes just to crisp up the skin. And the sweet potatoes were perfectly tender inside with a slightly, I'm not going to say crispy, I'm not going to lie because my sweet potatoes never come out crispy, but they did have a nice exterior to it. I don't know how to explain it. Next up, pizza. Typhur says to cook pizza directly in the basket with no grill grate, and the pizza preset includes preheat in the total cook time, which works well if you're cooking a frozen pizza because you can just slide it in. But for homemade pizza, this led to two problems for me. How do I get my fresh pizza dough into a hot basket without burning myself? And second, how do I lift it and place it in if it's loaded with toppings? Luckily, I had pizza peels on hand, but not everyone has pizza peels in their kitchen. So I also tested a perforated pizza pan. Mine is 13 inches and just a bit too wide, but my 10-inch pizza pan fit in fine. So I decided to test that method out. While it was preheating, I prepped a basic cheese pizza in the pan. The default is 340 degrees Fahrenheit for 14 minutes. While that cooked, I got my second pizza ready, which I'll be using with the pizza peels. I added sauce, a thin layer of mozzarella, tandoori chicken, red onions, red peppers, yellow peppers, and then finally topped it up with more cheese. The cheese pizza came out looking amazing. The air fryer runs so quietly, I didn't think it would be this effective. Slightly light on the bottom, but still well done. I was impressed the heat was able to cook through the pan so well. While I waited for the cheese to cool down before cutting it, and wanting to make use of the already hot air fryer, I used the peels to transfer my second pizza directly into the basket, which needed a little bit of help to get it back into place. But it started the preheat again, which I wasn't expecting, and unfortunately there's no way to skip or disable that. So I had to reduce the cook time by 4 minutes to make up for it. Going back to the cheese pizza, once I cut into it, you can see that the edges were really crispy, but the dough was amazing. It was so fluffy and it had risen well, and I was really surprised. The underside was slightly light, like I mentioned earlier when I took it out, because of the pan that I used, but if this is how it turned out using a pan, I was excited to see how it was going to cook in the basket. But just look at this airy dough. It was amazing. So cutting the cook time short for the chicken pizza, I took it out, and this one also looked amazing. I sprinkled on some chopped coriander and let the cheese cool down before I cut into it, and when I did, oh my god, this one was better than the first one. This one was so crisp underneath, the base was just amazing. Even the dough was airy, and just take a look at the base on this. Absolutely beautiful. It looks like it almost came off a pizza stone. I was so impressed with this, and just take a look at how well the dough cooked. Beautiful crisp base. Both methods worked out really well, whether you like it a little bit soft and fluffy or whether you like it airy and crisp. But this one was so good, and I'm making pizzas almost on a daily basis using the Typhur. I have a few shorts. If you guys do want to watch those, then please be sure to subscribe. I'll try and get them out soon. I've ruined more steaks than I can count testing air fryers, so this time I grabbed a 6-pack of Wagyu beef medallions from Costco. I used the steak preset, which only activates the bottom heating element. That's perfect for searing, and now I get why they added that feature. I set it to 6 minutes, and the steak setting does have a preheat built into it. And while I'm at it, I'm going to tell you guys, you should grab one of these spray bottles. They're so much easier to use, and you want to avoid using aerosol spray cans. I flipped the steaks at the 3-minute mark. When there was 1 minute remaining, I checked the internal temperature using my Typhur Instaprobe, and they weren't quite done yet, and I didn't want it to start preheating again like the pizza and ruining the steaks, so I quickly added on a couple of more minutes to continue the cooking program. So in total, the second side cooked for a total of 5 minutes. Pull them out and top them with some garlic herb butter, and then let them rest for about 10 minutes. These were incredible. Perfect edge to edge doneness, medium rare, juicy and beautifully cooked. The bottom only heat made all the difference here, but yes, I did need to flip it, but look at how well it cooked these steaks. Since my steaks came out with a beautiful sear, I decided to try the steak setting for my burger patties, hoping to get a nice sear like the steaks. I cooked the first side for 3 minutes, flipped and cooked the second side for 2 minutes. Once they reached a medium rare, I took them out and made them into my burgers. They tasted great, but they didn't quite get the sear I was hoping for, only because they were swimming in their own juices by the end. Next time I'll definitely use the grill plate to help drain some of that off. I also think the grill setting will work better. If you do go back to watch my previous review of the Typhur 1, you'll notice I was able to get 6 burger patties in, but in this one I only got 4 in, and that's because I made these patties slightly larger. So again, the tray size hasn't changed. After thinking about the grill setting for my burgers, I decided to test the grill setting on some chicken Seekh kebabs instead. The preset doesn't include a preheat, so I manually added 5 minutes at the start. After that, I placed the kebabs in and let them cook for 8 minutes. And yes, I made sure to rotate them because the bottom heating element is only activated for the grill setting. They turned out great, juicy, flavorful, and didn't dry out at all. 8 minutes was just the right time. Now getting back to the dual heating element system. When people hear dual heating, they often think both the top and bottom heaters are blasting at full power together, so there's no need to flip or shake anything. But the Typhur Dome 2 works a little differently. It uses what's called a primary and secondary setup. One heater takes the lead depending on the mode, and the other just supports it. For example, with air fry, reheat or roast, most of the heat comes from the top, but with modes like pizza, steak or grill, the bottom heater does most of the work, which actually makes a lot of sense if you think about it. With pizza, your cheese won't overcook before the base has had a chance to crisp up, and when you're grilling, the heat from the bottom gives you those nice grill marks, so you'll want to rotate your food to get those grill marks evenly all around. Honestly, once you know how it works, it makes a lot of sense. It's more like the unit is adjusting the heat direction based on the food, which is smart. You just have to know that flipping and shaking is still recommended if you want even browning or crisping, especially with things like wings and fries. That's why I still flipped my chicken and rotated my kebabs, and I kept a close eye on everything I tested, which is what you normally have to do with air fryers anyway. It's not a bad thing, it's just different. But yeah, if you're expecting a completely flip-free experience, this is something I wanted to bring to your attention. But what do I really think about the Typhur Dome 2? I think it builds on the original version really well. You've still got the large basket, ceramic coating, and the 1750 watt of power, but the big improvements come from the added bottom heating element. The pizza and steak modes are huge improvements, and the built-in self-cleaning feature that now hits 500 degrees Fahrenheit is a huge win for trying to clean the heating elements. Just remember, you still have to wash the tray and basket out with soap and water. The self-cleaning burn-off is for cleaning the inside of the air fryer. I've seen some comments where people have done a burn-off and then complain that their basket and tray still has stuff on it. Make sure to check for device upgrades within the app. The latest upgrade now lets you initiate self-cleaning directly from the air fryer, whereas before it could only be done in the app. It's recommended to clean the air fryer at least once a month or more if you use it more often. And to enter self-cleaning mode from the air fryer, you'll press grill and reheat together for a couple of seconds for a 1 hour clean. Press and hold it longer and it'll become a 2 hour clean. Some areas though could still be improved, like the lack of remote starting the air fryer from your phone, or the fact that you can't skip preheat on certain modes. But I believe that was done on purpose because it forces you to preheat the unit to the right temperature to get those perfect cooking results. If you're thinking about getting an air fryer or are wanting to upgrade yours, then you should definitely check this one out. I've linked it in the description, and Typhur have given me a 10% discount code to share with you, so don't miss out on that. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think about this air fryer setup. Are you disappointed that both the heating elements don't work simultaneously? Or do you believe Typhur have come up with a foolproof way to achieve perfect even results? Let me know in the comments. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you found this review and demo useful. Please be sure to give this video a like, and if you do want to watch more, please be sure to hit the subscribe button, and I hope to catch you all in my next video.